It's late. Not dramatically late, just later than it used to be. You're both in bed, lights off, phones still faintly glowing. There's that quiet space where something could happen. And for a second, you feel it, that small, familiar awareness of each other. But it passes. No one says anything. One of you turns slightly, the other pretends not to notice, and that's it. Another night where nothing is wrong, but something isn't quite right either. This is the part no one really prepares you for, because most of us grow up believing that love is the foundation, the thing that holds everything together, the thing that, if it's strong enough, will carry you through. And in many ways, it does. But there's a quieter truth that shows up later. Not in the beginning when everything feels effortless and obvious, but here, in moments like this. Love can still be there, and something can still be missing. When this goes unexamined, it doesn't usually explode. It fades. Not dramatically, not all at once, just slowly enough that you can both adjust to it without realizing you are. Conversations become more functional, touch becomes more occasional, desire becomes something you assume will come back later. And what's at stake isn't just physical closeness, it's the sense of being chosen in a living, present way. The feeling that you're not just loved, but wanted, seen, felt. Without that, even good relationships can start to feel strangely lonely. There's a reason for this, and it's not a failure of love. It's how humans actually work. In the early stages of a relationship, the brain is doing something very specific. Novelty is high. Uncertainty is high. Attention is focused. Chemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine create a kind of natural intensity. You think about each other more. You notice everything. Even small moments feel charged with meaning. It's not just emotional, it's biological. But over time, something shifts. Familiarity increases. Predictability settles in. The brain, very efficiently, stops treating the relationship as something new. And what once felt automatic starts to require something entirely different. Not effort in the way people usually think of it, but presence, awareness, emotional availability. The kinds of things that are easy to assume and surprisingly easy to lose. Because here's what's really happening underneath. Two people can love each other deeply and still slowly drift out of alignment. Not in big, obvious ways, but in small, almost invisible ones. Stress accumulates. Unspoken frustrations settle in the background. Daily life starts taking up more space than emotional connection. And without realizing it, the relationship shifts from something you enter to something you simply live inside. Love becomes stable, reliable, quiet, but desire, emotional and physical, doesn't operate on stability alone. It responds to attention, to feeling seen in the present moment, to the subtle sense that there is still something alive between you. Without that, things don't break, they just soften. There is a quiet irony in this. The very thing that makes a relationship feel safe can also make it feel less alive. Predictability builds trust, but it can also dull curiosity. Comfort creates closeness, but it can reduce the tension that makes connection feel meaningful. And most couples don't talk about this part, not because they're hiding anything, but because it's difficult to even put into words. It's easier to say we're just tired or life has been busy, which is often true, but not complete. So you end up with two people who still care, still show up, still choose each other in all the visible ways, but quietly wonder when things started to feel different, and whether that difference means something is wrong. What's actually happening is more subtle than that. Love is a foundation, but it isn't a system that runs on its own. It doesn't automatically maintain emotional closeness. It doesn't automatically sustain desire. it doesn't automatically keep two inner worlds connected over time. It creates the possibility for those things, but the experience of them depends on something more fluid, more moment to moment. Something that can't be stored or assumed, only noticed or not. And that's why this feels so confusing for so many people, because nothing is obviously broken. There's no clear event, no single turning point, just a gradual shift that's hard to name while you're inside it. You still love each other, and somehow that doesn't answer the question you didn't know you had. Maybe that's the part worth sitting with. Not whether love is there or not, but what love on its own can and can't hold. Because for a lot of couples, this isn't the end of something. It's just the moment where the story quietly changes shape, and the connection they thought would carry itself starts asking very gently to be felt again.